就是看那么的开不了。嘿嘿。啦。
Good morning and welcome everyone here and welcome everyone on the Zoom. There's an echo.
Thank you.
Maybe it's here. Okay, better. So thank you. Welcome back, everyone.
Yeah,
Our second day of teachings, glorious teachings on the Four Dharmas of Gampopa at the request of our beloved Khenchen Rinpoche. And we're going to do our best to keep up with everyone on Zoom today. And we're going to start with opening prayers, correct?
Okay.
And we're going to be using this prayer book, the Chicago Ratna Sri Sangha prayer book. We'll be starting on page 1.
All right.
And our Om Say is ready.
La.
All other sentient beings, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and omniscience, may they experience happiness, be separated from suffering, and swiftly will I establish them in the state of unsurpassed, perfect, complete, and precious Buddhahood. All other sentient beings, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and omniscience, may they experience happiness, be separated from suffering, and swiftly will I establish them in the state of unsurpassed, perfect, complete, and precious Buddhahood. All other sentient beings, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and omniscience, may they experience happiness, be separated from suffering, and swiftly will I establish them in the state of unsurpassed, perfect, complete, and precious Buddhahood. Thus, until I achieve enlightenment, I perform virtuous deeds with body, speech, and mind. Until death, I perform virtuous deeds with body, speech, and mind. From now until this time tomorrow, I perform virtuous deeds with body, speech, and mind. In the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha most excellent, I take refuge until enlightenment is reached. By the merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings. In the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha most excellent, I take refuge until enlightenment is reached. By the merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings. In the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha most excellent, I take refuge until enlightenment is reached. By the merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings. May all mother sentient beings, boundless as the sky, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be liberated from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they never be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. May all mother sentient beings, boundless as the sky, have happiness in the causes of happiness. May they be liberated from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they never be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. May all mother sentient beings, boundless as the sky, have happiness in the causes of happiness. May they be liberated from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they never be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. Page 7. Page 7.
Okay.
Please turn the wheel of the Dharma of the two vehicles and their combination according to the dispositions and likewise the mental capacities of sentient beings.
Good morning, everybody. First, please relax your mind, body. There's a saying, the body should be where the seat is, where your seat, the body should be there. It's meditation, on the meditation cushion. Where your body is, the mind should be there. So mind should stay with the body. Sometimes our body is on the cushion, but mind goes everywhere, And so mind should be where the body is. And then that mind should be relaxed. So these are important point, way how to keep your mind in a mindfulness, relaxing, So everybody has the mind, as we have discussed this, but we don't see it. We don't know what it will do. We're hoping the best. Today I want to be very happy. I don't want suffering. I want to be happy, relaxed. That's what we desire for. We meditate. That was our all the purpose. So everybody is in that same boat. We all sentient beings, those who have consciousness, we're on the same boat. Whether Dharma practitioners or not Dharma practitioners, whether believers or non-believers, or whether they don't believe previous and next life, whether they believe there's a previous life, but still we want peace and happiness. So because of that reason, we need to cultivate the altruistic thought that would set the prayer. All the mother sentient beings, especially those enemies who hate me, who create the obstacles, who harms me, may have all the happiness and free from the suffering. and then they may achieve enlightenment. It's very simple. No. Everybody desire for peace and happiness, so we say that prayer. Everybody doesn't desire suffering, we say that prayer. Now this may they achieve complete enlightenment. This is something we have that we have to think about it and analyze how that can be achieved. You know? If it is possible to achieve or not. If you make effort, if that is feasible or not. We have to think about this, you know. That's why we're studying, practicing, meditating, you know. So all this week, reading many books, you know. How many books are there? Every year, so many books are coming. Writings, translations, you know. See, it shows how the mind is so complex. Still, we haven't found the solution. When you have found the solutions, why we need all the books? No need. Milarewa said, for me, everything is a text, so I don't need writing text, you know. All this what you see is just text. It's just, you know, I see, I understand that. So I don't need this text to read. And Jesus was also if you read his song, the sixth confidence song, Jesus did you read that? No. He said, when I know the sutra, writing commentaries, and the Vajrayana teachings, so I don't need the writing text, he said. I know those. I no need all the writings, you know. And I have the confidence that I'm totally satisfied. You know. So we read so much because, you know, we have not fully realized that. So we need to read books. So there's called the teacher, master, the person teacher, and the text teacher, Lama. First, we need a person as a person teacher. No, it's called guru. You know, the person guru who is qualified. Buddha described all the qualification of those individuals, the teachers, to be a teacher, to be a guru. So in Vinaya, those who are Vinaya teacher need this qualifications. Bodhisattva section need this. Look at the ornament of liberation at the spiritual master section, you know. And then in the Vajrayana, need this qualification. Already described. It's not something new. No. And then this is the responsibility of the teacher. Then there's the responsibility of the students as well. It's not just teacher alone. The student also has to have the responsibility. Let's see. So then this. So what we're talking about is the person teacher, and then the person, the teacher, the person, the text teacher. Then after you receive all those teachings from the great masters, you have studied enough, you received, you are practicing all this. Then the text is your teacher. You read, understand what it said, remind yourself. And the book is your teacher. Then your mind is your teacher. You see, you understand your mind, what's going wrong, what's going right, how you are behaving yourself. That's the best teacher. All this, I have to behave myself. You see, I received those teachings from my masters, my gurus. And then I studied this, what Buddha said, what the great commentators like Asankas, Nagarjunas, what they said, Now, look into your own mind, if I'm doing that or not. So your mind is your teacher. Then you see after this all, then you see this, everything's teacher now. All the appearance, just a manifestation. Like yesterday's mentioned, in the winter, how things are changed. In the summer, how things are changing. It's an illusory nature. It's impermanent. There's nothing to attach to. There's nothing to grasping, because keep changing. If you're grasping, it brings the suffering, because you are fixated. No, I want that way, I want this way, and you are not flexible. Everything's changing, flexible, and your mind is so fixated, they fight each other then, and then there comes the suffering. So you need flexibilities, So take everything as a teacher. So this kind of teacher, you see, with that, so first we need to, as we said, cultivate the mind. Today, that's what we're studying, the practicing. It's not just only me, but all for the benefit of all sentient beings. As I mentioned, we are in the same boat, because that, Then, not just only to benefit, but to achieve enlightenment, Buddhahood. First, as a beginner, just look at this, look at this, you see. This, our body here, what we have. The 5 skandha, 5 aggregates. The body, what do you see? And then you see what you hear, what you smell, or you taste, touch, all this body we have. From that, then the form, and then the feeling. So I feel good or not good, feeling, and the perception. I perceive this, and then perception, third, and the fourth, the formation, what you create, all the different karmas, formation, and then consciousness. See, so the 5 aggregates this body. Everybody, all the human beings we have, animals also have. And this is the universe. You are in your own universe. See? Because all things are included within here, all the forms. Anywhere you go, you see, you hear, you see, different food, you taste, anything, feeling, everything, included within these 5 aggregates. All the composite phenomena. It's called all the composite phenomena. Within that, you see. Then you see this, just at the beginning, this is me, I am. You identify such person, Carol, can you come? So yes, I am here. Just me, I am. Then they're different. You see how you are constituted, your mind. Something flexible, something, something like concrete. So as to this point, this is me, I am here, and I feel I'm solid. I'm, it's something like continuity. This I come from yesterday, and now this morning, and now I'm here, and I'll go to the afternoon next. Something the same kind of identity continues. So the self-grasping, you see. Everybody has that. Even who don't study any religion or Buddhist, anything, we have that. And you see, with that kind of identities, I am, as yesterday we discussed, something like permanence. This is the me, solid. See, that which is individual, different from others. This is me. I want to be such. Then I am clean. So I want happiness, peace. I don't want suffering. So it's called dancing. We have the nature itself is impermanent. We're in the state of there's impermanence, but without knowing that, without acknowledgement that, something like permanence, Our nature is suffering, but we don't acknowledge my nature is suffering. I want all the happiness, peace. Our nature is unclean, but it is unclean. So you see, without self, holding self. So everyone has that, you see. This five skandha. There's no outside look around. Now this want to be, as history witnessed, in this life, who are working all this life spending to make this something, something we call substantial, substantialize. I want to be famous. I want to be rich. I want to be this. I don't want to be a failure. Then when you are taught when you go to college, school, so you are this, then you look at your career. What's your career? So you pick up the special subject, then you just go with that. I want to make my life. So this. Then when you study this you touch the basic, you should say, this basic foundation, the five skandha, look at this, is so fragile. It's just there's just a mirage. Look at the four elements of the bhakti. The earth element, the water, the fire, air. These all are very contradictory each other, but they have to function together. Earth is heavy. The air is light. water is cold, fire is hot. They always fight each other, but you have to function together. This shows how fragile we are. So look at this. Then you see this. It's not a Buddhist belief. It's not a religious belief, but it's something universally functions. Look at this. So it's not a. Then under such a condition, with the self, the feeling of I, permanent, the self-aggrandized, the I, where you cannot find. It's just all imputed. You said, but we are so habituated within that. How much they are. This is we're just checking the reality nature, I'm not saying good or bad, how it functions. See, our perception, how we are taught to be, and how the reality nature itself is education, before the practice, education, to know this fact. It's a scientific fact, It's not a religious fact. Okay. We should look at the scientific, reality nature, legitimate nature, all of this is. Then we look as I'm clean. She said, no. If you're clean, you need to wash. We wash every day, isn't it? What you are washing for? So diluted, we are. You look at this reality nature. Now, if I talk so much, it's disgusting, This I don't want to hear what he's talking about. I feel so dirty, I don't want it. This is where to touch the basic, you see. Look at this. You see first. That's what it's called. How much is bringing suffering to you? How much peace and happiness you want? And how much that by this what's called artificial, all these imputed mentalities that we have, how to be beautiful, how to be clean, how to be dressed so well, all this taught in the society, And then in reality, where you are, who you are, look at this, how it makes so much twisted, everything's artificial, contrived, how much we are contrived ourselves. Look at this, fabricated, So this is the basic Dharma teachings is about. Buddha taught that nature, nothing, something making bad, And within that estimation, how much you want peace and happiness, And through these, now our fabricated, contrived in this wall, imputed wall, so now how much you can expect real peace and happiness, how much sufferings can produce from there. Whatever we do something, we just create something, always fail. There's always problem, something. And then how much you just go through the suffering. So look at these first. That's what's called renounce. Renounce means It's not saying something is making bad, but renounce the cause of suffering. That's basically, But we have to understand. Otherwise, without knowing these things, renounce. Oh, then you don't eat, you don't wear clothes, you want to be the street, just you feel that, I don't like that idea, Here, first we have to understand these things. Just basic, the five aggregate, this body that what we have in the samsara, how we treat, how we artificialized through this different imputed mind. There's so many people are so wise to impute, to artificialize. There's so many in the world, you see. You have to be designed like this. They tell you then in the society, you have to create so much, something that you are fit in the society. Then you have to pretend, you see, as I mentioned yesterday, you have to pretending. If you are not happy, say, oh, I'm happy, you have to pretend. This is called manner, they teach you manner, and all these things you see. Now this, first you look at this. Why this has happened, in the first place. So I wonder, why we are so imputed or this, fabricated, artificialized. I don't know how it started. Bringing all the cause of suffering. This is all creating the cause of suffering. Then we function in that. This in the samsara, you see, there's no absolute achievement, you see. Look at in the samsara. There's some individual become so famous for some time. Then after some time, he goes down. There's some persons become so rich, and he tries to become more richer and richer. And after some time, he fails. There's no maximum happiness in the samsara, isn't it? So far, have you heard of? No. There's no maximum become rich, famous. And then, 2008, the market went down, isn't it? Became so famous about that. One day, how went wrong. A lot of people, heart attack, It went so successfully, for many years, went up and up and up and higher and higher. Then, there's no contentment, you see. I want to make more, more, you see. And then when the market crashed, everything becomes, the world is went wrong, become dark. There's no now alternate to go around, and many people, say, suicide and depressed. So much suffering created, isn't it? Now I lost everything. So that's what samsara impermanence is about. Look at this, these things. I'm not saying we have to look all the time bad, but up also, go up and go down, up and down, like this. Look at this. That's why I say contemplate on the impermanence makes us such very important. When you look at the impermanence changing, then everything is expected. Can go better, can go wrong, When it go wrong, oh yes, it is impermanent. When it go better, oh yes, it is impermanent. You can improve, you know. So then when you, in this way you investigate, analyze, meditate. Practice is very important, you see. Not just analyze, it doesn't help so much. In the place of the analyzing, put into practice, meditate, you see. This is a training of the mind. So mathematics, you can calculate the mathematics. Oh, calculate science, you know. But there's not so much to practice. But whereas in the Buddha's teaching, you have to practice the mind. Make your mind more flexible. Looking at everything is impermanent. So make your mind flexible. Yesterday is gone, it's gone. No matter how good it was, we don't have today. So it's foolish to attach to yesterday's good life. Or it's foolish yesterday's bad life, today resenting, you know. It's gone. Let it go. Keep your mind flexible. You know, tomorrow we don't know. Uncertain. You know, unless you have a clairvoyance, you know. If you have clairvoyance, they say, oh, tomorrow will come this. We don't know that. Even we don't know what tonight will happen, you know. So we don't know. We say tomorrow because we are coming from yesterday. You know? Otherwise, we don't know tomorrow. I can say, I don't believe tomorrow, you know, because I don't know. But because coming from yesterday, now I'm here. Now I'm going continuing, and now I can expect this evening, and I can expect tomorrow. But what will happen, we don't know. So therefore, we just keep the mind in that clarity nature. Reflect on the impermanence. This impermanence is with us. It's not a mysterious thing, you know. It's very obvious, clear. You know? There's nothing to debate about it. Whether things are impermanent or not impermanent, you know. It's just a matter of the reminding, you know, understanding. See, yesterday I mentioned about this, you know, Milarepa's songs, you know. And causality, you know, is very clear. Everything based on the causes and condition. That's why we're working so hard to create some cause. So make some conditions, better conditions. We're working so hard. As I mentioned, this artificial, the contrived, we fabricate to make happier, you know. There's a cause. We're creating cause, artificial, fabrication. So they're kind of made that kind of condition to make you kind of happier. So dignity, the tie, you know, so clean, you know. So people look at you, wonderful person, and that gives you happiness, you know. It's all artificial, you see. It's a wrong cause. That's why we need a wisdom which makes a right cause or wrong cause. See. Look at these things. These are very important to know ourselves. You know? Then on this, you see everything functions with the many causes and conditions. These 5 aggregates, these basic 5 aggregates. When we're thirsty, we need to drink. When we're hungry, we have to eat. When the weather is so cold, we need some heat. When they're so hot, we need air conditioning to balance these elements of the body. See? It shows how interdependent we are. We are not independent. See? So interdependent, interconnected. So that means what that, in the terms of the interdependent, it shows everything's illusory nature. Just illusory nature. Like your face in the reflection, in the mirror, look at, your face, mirror, reflection. It's all interdependent. Without the mirror, there's no reflection. Without your face, there's no reflection. If it's totally dark, there's no reflection. If it's too long distance, there's no reflection. It's too close, cannot reflect. So need all this correct, the reflection. And it's just reflection. Like moon's reflection in the lake. You see, the moon's reflection in the lake. You ask, is this the moon or not? What you say is moon's reflection. It's not the moon. When you see the moon in the lake, it's a reflection. We don't analyze so much. But if you really carefully investigate it, it's amazing, inconceivable. There's no moon in the lake. If there's a moon in the lake, you can catch it. You don't find it. But still there's a reflection, you see it. Exactly the moon you see in the sky, you see in the lake. It's inconceivable. Carefully investigate, you see. So everything's reflection. We are the reflection of our own karma, reflection of the mind. See? So see these things. That's called interdependent, interconnected, you see. As long as there's a causes condition, it continues like a magic show. The magic show also depends on many causes condition. Magic show doesn't come without cause and condition. Like this, life after life goes when there's causes and conditions. When this cause of samsara is ceased to exist, then samsara does not exist. It's called nirvana. As long as this causes of conditions of the samsara continues to exist, we cannot deny. If you don't know, but we cannot deny, it continues life to life. So illusory energy is illusory, but it has many causes and conditions to show the magic show. Same thing, this world, magic show. So that's what's called interdependent, interconnected. Neither exist nor none exist. When you realize that we need that wisdom, such a great, powerful wisdom to see this. That's from this point of view, then you get such a great opportunity. Oh, there's nothing to attach in the samsara. Samsara is the state of the illusion. Samsara is the state, is obscuration, mental delusion that obscures the reality nature. We have to reveal, uncover that fabricated nature. We have to uncover from the fabricated, contrived. This whole samsara is a contrived state, a fabricated state. Then you see that requires that kind of great wisdom that Buddha has revealed. No matter in the samsara, you want peace and happiness, you don't want suffering. When you achieve nirvana, that is the happiness, free from suffering. So what is the desirable things to do is to create the cause for peace and happiness. That's the desirable thing. Logically, scientifically, you see. So that's why we have to get out of this samsaric dimension from samsara to the nirvana. That's what is. So when you see this, our body, this body, these five skandhas, what we have, this itself. First, when you see, as mentioned, how you perceive. Now, through this, all the analysis, when you investigate this thoroughly with the pristine wisdom, you see this, it's not that way how I have perceived it. Now it's different, I perceive differently. See, it is still I am this here, the body, But through the progress of your wisdom, when you penetrate more and more, deeper and deeper, you see it differently. Then there's nothing to attach to it. Now with that, you see, this just as mentioned, it just is interdependent. It's just a reflection of the moon in the lake, with many causes condition. Because the reflection, the moon also, as mentioned, needs a lot of causes condition. They need water. The water needs a place to water function. Then you need a moon in the sky. If there's a cloud, you cannot see the moon's reflection. The sky should be very clear without the cloud. The moon is clear. And then the lake is also, if there's a lot of wind, you cannot see the reflection clearly, no wind. All the causal conditions there, then you can see the moon's reflection precisely. It depends on many causal conditions. So like this, our body this depends on many causes and conditions. Now you see. That's an illusory nature. We are something like, I'm real. Illusion is not real. See, now you can see there's no difference. The illusion that magic show and I'm magic show. So my body is a magic show now. Illusory nature. Then when you practice this way, you understood, scrutinize, then stabilize and internalize. You see these, practice this way. Then yesterday mentioned Milarepa's life stories is such a great example. When Milarepa went through the Yaghorn was not bigger, he was not smaller, but you can perceive him totally, perfectly same size. Like in our eyes, small eyes, you can see whole mountain. The mountain is not smaller, your eyes are not bigger, you can see the mountain. These are inconceivable if you just meditate on. But we don't pay attention on that. Something like, oh, yes, First, these things are very important. This is the reality nature, that what the Buddha taught over 26,000 years ago. Still fresh, you see. And still we're lacking the wisdom to capture what Buddha said. Still we don't have enough mental power to see these things. So when you do these things, then see our mind turn into Dharma. Okay. Then when you see these very precisely, whole samsara, previous life, this life, next life, all as long as you're in the samsara, we cannot expect real peace and happiness because we're under the control of the mental affliction, mental delusion. We want to be free from samsara. See, then we take refuge in the Buddha Dharma Sangha, you see. It's cause, method, how to be free from samsara. It's not just, as I mentioned yesterday, it's not a brainwash, okay? Or another say, it's a diluted mind is washed, creating the right cause to understand the point, the reality. If I suppose say I don't believe anything, no, I don't believe anything, but still I want happiness, you see. Or animals that don't know anything, still they want happiness. You see some, in the cold weather, when the sun shines, they're so relaxed, breathing so smoothly. They appreciate the sunshine. It shows they appreciate this kind of free from this cold. So all want peace and happiness. So that's why everyone has opportunity to free from suffering, because there's a requirement. So these things, then when you see this, everything is just manifestation. Because of my right hand, there's a left hand. If there's no right, there's no left. It's just labeled. Big, small, good, bad. It's all just labeled. And what we say, we're so fixated on that, you see. So here, as mentioned, we need to learn how to release this fixation. That's the hard part. Very hard part. Because we are so kind of habituated. The habit, the inveterate propensity is deeply rooted and difficult to dig out that. That's what's called practice, mindfulness, vigilance. Those are so important. We know Dharma. By now, you read many books, you met many great teachers, and you received so many teachings by meeting great teachers, by reading books, you know it. But still we are wondering because we could not break through the habit. That takes time. Sometimes painful, But if you have the wisdom, then you do it with joyfully. So I'm so grateful. I see the samsara now. I see the beauty of the Dharma. the wisdom of the Dharma. I'm so fortunate. If I have enough nerve, if I have unflinching faith, devotion, see, this is the way I have now. I can see it, It's not something, as mentioned, believing something. You have to see it precisely. So just meditate that way. Reflect on that way. Then you can see this skandha, this itself is nothing but illusory nature. Just interdependent, interconnected. And then ignorance is nowhere. There's nothing to attach to. There's nothing to hate. There's the purpose of understanding of the interdependent. Meditate on this like this. So first we have to, as mentioned, we have to understand our body, what we have is the reflection of our karma. It's the reflection of my mind. First we have to have that kind of understanding. Okay. Very important. It's the formation, the karmic formation that I have created is reflected into this body. Then all this happening, experiencing what in our daily life is the reflection of the mind. How your mind reflecting on this. When the suffering comes, so you should say, it's okay. Suffering should come because I've created the karma. So it's now there's the perception is your mind, how you perceive your mind. If it is accepting the suffering or it's unacceptable, it's your mind. When your mind says, oh yes, I expected this will happen, I practice Dharma, your reflection of the mind is more flexible. When suffering comes, I cannot accept it, no, this I don't deserve, all these things. And then this is your mental affliction, reflection, and suffering is there, more suffering. Where there's a karmic suffering, then you make mentally more suffering. See, this is called karmic reflection, mental reflection. Make sense? So these are the very important to establish. So do you desire to free from samsara? That's called Dharma becomes the path. You see, Dharma follows the path to free from samsara. Okay. It makes sense? Then with this, you see, we can cultivate bodhicitta right from the beginning. Okay, I want to practice Dharma to achieve enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings. But there are some individuals, through these, going step by step. And there are some individuals you see in the samsara. When you reflect on the suffering, then there are some individuals, they are so tired of the suffering. I am really tired of the suffering in the samsara. I cannot abide within this suffering, related to this five skandha. This body is a state of suffering. Now suffering, as yesterday we mentioned briefly, but this, the suffering of suffering. So we have aging suffering, getting sick suffering, then finally die suffering. We don't get what we want. We get what we don't want. Constantly fighting with that. In such a beautiful house, you're suffering a lot, Suffering. So we are under the condition of suffering, basically. Suffering or change we enjoy sometimes, but that doesn't last long. And so there's karma. As long as there is 5 aggregates, the body, grasping on it, creating the karma, is the condition of suffering. Nagarjuna said, Jisi pumpun zinyo, but disi tela nganzinyo. Nganzinyo na yangle de tela yana kawajus. As long as you're grasping the 5, this body, skandha body, then this grasping is the ignorance. I, When there's I, notion of the I, grasping on that as I, then, which is the ignorance, there's attachment and aversion. When we have these 3 portions, when you have 3 portions, then that becomes the what's called factory of all the karma you create from there. So the factory of the karma is the 3 portions. Okay. Make sense? See. Then you see when these 3 portions are there, they work so well each other. They coordinate, Generally seems, when the teachers they teach you, they always teach you to get rid of the anger. They don't touch the subject or to release the attachment, They never touch. I think it's missing something there. Without the attachment, there's no anger to manifest. There's no for anger, aversion. There's no basis for the anger to manifest if there's no attachment. Just say, look at this. This bell is so beautiful, It's, the sound is so clear. And it's also very good material, made from very good material things. And it's expensive, So when I got it, I have such a beautiful bell, and I have some attachment to this. And then if somebody whom I don't know comes here, touch the bell, I feel you should not touch my bell. You see, there's some sensitive, There's some sensitivity is there. You see. And especially if the person whom I don't know started taking, then I say, oh, please stop. Don't take it, There comes the anger, aversion. Because I'm attached to this bell. The attachment is the foundation to anger to give rise. See? There's some teacher, as I mentioned, they teach you anger is not good, anger is so bad, it's destroy your, this so bad. And they never touch attachment to release, How did it happen? Well, I'm attaching to this bell. Why not rise the anger relation to this? Those two based on the ignorance. So anger and attachment are part of ignorance. See? If there's no ignorance, holding this bell as something concrete, good, beautiful, based on anger, ignorance, then there's no foundation to attach to this. And then when there's no attachment to this, there's no anger to manifest. This is the first, very important. The Buddha's teaching is such a beautiful teaching. They teach you how to purify these mental afflictions. There's no in the world teach you this about this. No? The root cause of suffering. So it's not a religion, you see. It's not a something belief, but it is taught on the basis of logic, reason, scientific. No? From there you see. So now when you understand this assimilation interdependent of this my body, it's illusory nature. Oh, just a manifestation, I see this. Then I release much of my attachment to this body. When I could release some attachment to this body, my suffering is much lighter, not that dense. There is a pain, but there's not so much suffering. See, as we are beginner, no? less suffering there. That's why we need this practice how to free from samsara. Now my main point is that some individual who are suffering so themselves so much, and they feel they're desperate to free from samsara. I have no time to think for others' benefit. Sentient beings are limitless, countless. How I can help that? Even I cannot help myself. I cannot help others, but I want to free from samsara. That comes the Sharavakas, but the Buddhas, you see, individuals. They are not interested to develop bodhisattva to help others. They feel, I am overwhelmed by my own suffering. No, under such a condition, how I can help others? They have reason, you see. So they see this body as something like poison. Because of this study, no, this estimation, this is not a one thing, it's a source of all the when you, in the Buddha Avatar mention, you know, you investigate your body, he said. First, this is skin, top. What's underneath the skin? Flesh, nerve systems, ligaments, you know, blood, all this. Underneath that, bone. Inside the bone, marrow. Now, what's the essence there? You look at the whole of your body, investigate that way. What's the essence there you find? And so I'm so deluded. I want to free from this afflicted, it's called afflicted skandha. I want to achieve unafflicted skandha. Sameji pumbu. Sakpa meba, sakpa is affliction. No, affliction. Our body is afflicted body. All the sufferings manifest from here. All the attachments suffer from there. All our delusions are with that. No? So I want to free from that, so that I can breathe some peace, real peace, free from all the fear. We have so much fear in the world because of attachment. No? You can see very precisely during this pandemic how much fear in the world. See, that shows how much we have attachment to ourselves. And we don't know the cause of this. Only artificial cause, not just to be from distance, you know. They teach you how this to free from all distance, to not to get the COVID, but they don't teach you the root cause, the 3 poisons. All this is mentioned to avoid the 10 non-virtues, and how to practice the 10 virtues. They never teach you all these things. because they have no wisdom, you see, no method. They can teach you only what they know, and the surface, just very short distance. There's a mission this last few weeks, in a few days in China, They saw this, you have to be distance, you have to be, you have to do this or this, and they tried their best. As mentioned, they tried their best in a sincere way to protect people, but they don't have the profound wisdom underneath to avoid non-virtues. Mikiwachu. As yesterday I mentioned, the four harmonious friends, how they practiced and how they brought, in the whole country, peace and happiness, you see. So Dharma teaching, Buddha's wisdom, is for the welfare of the appreciation beings. That's what we need. These are the first very important, before we chanting mantras, First, because if we don't pay attention on these things, then chanting mantra will bring you all the benefits and helps, and sometimes it's not so helpful. They can give up any time. But if you know these things, there's no way to give up. See, you know it, that's how reality nature, where you are functioning, You see this wisdom. Okay, I understand. Even I don't realize, but it makes sense, And then Dharma can grow really well, everywhere, and can bring benefit. If you teach so much mantra chant, after something you don't get benefit, why I should recite this? Or just give up. Then sometimes you say, I used to chant so much mantra, but now I don't. It doesn't bring much difference, But when you see these things, then that's really, That's the wisdom that we have in our own mind. But we need a skill to penetrate that, or do that. Our habit is, as mentioned, very stubborn. So still difficult to change that habit. But it makes you sense. It does. So we have to, in this, said how it happens, how you're confused in the path. Is that when you are totally involved yourself, your self-liberation, your path is confused. It's your path for the benefit of all sentient beings. You don't have that bodhicitta, only for individuals' interest. And that the path is not going direct to the Buddhahood, but it's, what do you call that? Off the track? Off the track, detour, isn't it? Yeah. Derail from the path, okay. So I want to choose the third, okay, the confused, the confusion in the path, okay. How you confuse your path towards Buddhahood, because you are derailed in the path. Then you say you're off the track. So now how to do this, how to correct that, not to derail from the path, how to remove the confusion from the path, is the loving kindness, compassion, bodhicitta. You see. And then after that, wisdom of the realization of the emptiness. See, first we have loving kindness, compassion, as I mentioned last time also. Everyone has some sense of love and compassion, even though it's emotional. No, even the small bugs, the so small bugs, ants, when they give birth to offspring, the mother, they take care of her offspring. No, she's looking for a better place, more safe place to give birth. No, like the snakes are always hungry, but when she gives birth, the egg, very safe place. You can see the tortoise dig the ground, they lay the egg for stable place, out of love, out of concern. See? That's the first you look at the love. That kind of innate born love and compassion is the reflection of the Buddha nature. So Buddha nature is the total love and compassion. Even though it's underneath all the mental obscurations, as mentioned, ignorance, attachment, aversion, jealous, so forth, so much crowded, in the jungle of all these delusions, but still this manifest. Like when there's a sun in the sky, no matter how thick cloud is, there's some light. So there's a manifestation of the Buddha nature, the love. That is we have to identify it first, that love. She wants to take care of her offspring. She wanted this offspring safe, better place out of their love, you see. First look at that, you see. They're so stupid, first, no any education or intelligence, but still have that clarity of the mind. There's some clarity, clarity, awareness. It's because of Buddha nature. Because of that, she herself wants peace and happiness. That's what called mother sentient beings, you see. So Buddha aware all this so precisely. That's our capital first. Look at that precisely. From there, then you say, take that as an example. And then all sentient beings, they want to free from suffering. Because of that offspring, doesn't want to be hurt, want to be happy, peaceful. Mother does that. And then that offspring grows. That bird hatches the egg so delicately. So because of her care, then the egg is hatched and then becomes the chicken and then becomes a big bird because of her care, If she doesn't care, how that can happen? If she neglects, lay the egg, if she runs away, how the egg can hatch? So this is the first, So you look at the wisdom of the Buddha's teaching. Look at the compassion of the Buddha's mind. How Buddha cared the sentient beings. All this taught method, step by step. And from there, you cultivate. Then we say, oh, mother sentient beings, No, we don't say all Buddhists, We say all sentient beings. We also don't say all human beings. So all sentient beings. So that way, even though we are right now, we're limited. So many ways we're limited, but we start from there. See, because we have the potential to capture that meaning. It's called effulgence. You know effulgence? Effulgence. You know the word? Effulgence. Yeah, look at your dictionary.
Bubbling up? Are you saying
Effulgence. Effulgence. Noun is noun effulgence. The verb is effulgent.
A brilliant radiance, shining forth as of light, great luster of brightness, splendor.
The real nature of the Buddha nature.
A brilliant radiance, a shining forth as of light, great luster or brightness, splendor, the effulgence of divine glory.
Yeah. So you see this, the effulgence of the mind is now always called imbued within our nature. So look at this. We can realize that through these practices. That's the beauty of the Buddha's teaching. For every sentient being, we need to just grow ourselves step by step, understand. So then slowly, first you see this practice. First, yourself just look at how much I want peace and happiness, how much I want to free from suffering. Look at that. Then your surrounding, your family, your friends, they also want peace and happiness. When they make mistake, it's because of not they want to make mistake, but because of the delusion, mental afflictions that cause them to make mistake. Then they don't want, purposely they don't want to make mistake. Nobody wants to make mistake. Everyone wants to be perfect, but doesn't allow to have that because of our delusion, our bad habit. No. Well, explaining this habit, and sometimes there comes some conflict, but you renew, refresh all the time. That's what's called practice. Never give up. No, very important. No matter how things went wrong, never give up. There's always can progress. So that's the Bodhisattva's understanding. Life after life, life after life. No? So loving kindness, you rebuild it. Everybody wants peace and happiness. So your family, then in your town, in your city, in your state, then in your country, then they look at the whole world, the eastern direction, west, south, north, every direction. Everybody They all want peace and happiness, as yesterday mentioned. We're in the same boat. In regarding to that, there's no differences. Because the mind is so complex, there are many differences, way of thinking. How you habituate it. So this is a training of the mind. It takes time, Slowly. In that regard, that is it. In the jewel ornament of liberation, in the book, you read the section of the loving kindness there. The relation to your mother. Sometimes some people in anywhere, not in the West, they have some bad relation with the mother. So I say, oh, my mother was so bad, treated me so badly, and like this. There's some individuals there. But the majority in the world, human beings, non-human beings, the mother take care of the child. So that's why it's a mother. She give birth. She went through such great difficulties to raise the child. Even though she doesn't have, she shared whatever she has. It's not just 1 day, 2 days, year after year, like this. And then she educated how to talk, how to walk, sending school, So like this, look at this. She wants her child the best. If there's 100 students in the school, and she is the one child is there, she wants the best from the 100 students, Even child is not so good, she said, oh, my child is very good, So like that way, develop the loving kindness to all sentient beings. But then, see, they want peace and happiness, but then reflect back to the suffering. Everyone is suffering so much. Their suffering is unbearable. See, their suffering is consistent, one after another. It's like the wave of the ocean. As long as the ocean exists, the wave doesn't cease to exist, manifests constantly, and develop compassion. They all desire to free from suffering. So the practice you see, loving kindness is such a beautiful practice. It's very easy, as mentioned. Everyone has some sense of loving kindness. From that you can develop. There's a story that is in the jewel ornament of liberation. Got it? Yeah. Oh yeah. I thought, what's it? This is special noise making.
It was.
Yeah. Okay, better? Okay. In the Jakarta, there's a story about that. This story is also in the jewel ornament of liberation there. But if I repeat, here. There was the king in a country. There's called King Champetop. The Mitra, Bala. Top is power, the power of loving kindness. The king name. During his time, then there's some Nuji who brings the some kind of negativities, pandemic, spell. You can spell, isn't it? Spell the negativities and then bring the disease, and then people die, and those entities, they eat the flesh of those people who died. So that's how they survive. So one time in the country there was a pandemic. Then the king, the power of the love, he was now concerned so much, people of his country, how I can help these people. My people are suffering so much. So then he got the understanding, practice the loving kindness, how much power is there. So then he elected all the ministers from different provinces, states. He brought together and he talked how to practice loving kindness. So then he said, now you go to all your places, teach this to all the people, how to practice loving kindness. Not just understanding, but ask them, practice, follow day after day. So he did that. After some time, slowly, the pandemic dissipates. Disappears slowly. People feeling much better because they're reflecting on this loving kindness. May every sentient beings have all the peace and happiness. Breathe out, breathe in, breathe out your loving kindness, compassion to all sentient beings. Breathe in all the blessings of Buddha into you. Purify your mind. So the king talked that, and all the ministers went round in their own places, and all the people they talked that way to practice. So after some time, the country becomes so peaceful. The pandemic stopped. Because when you have such kind of loving kindness, not emotional, not out of attachment, but real concern of all the people, in that place, in that kind of mental state, it has the 5 precepts yesterday mentioned. All the 5 precepts there. You will never harm anybody when you have such kind of loving kindness. You will not never steal anybody. You will not engage sexual misconduct. You will not intoxicate your mind. You know the causality of this. On the base of these 5 precepts and practice loving kindness. Then everybody becomes so beautiful, healthy. Then there are 5. These Nujin, yakshas, it's called yakshas. They have no flesh to eat. Nobody dies, So they are so hungry. They came to the king. So we are hungry for many days. We need food. Then the king said, the king told his minister with him, prepare lunch or food to these 5 guests. They are hungry, please prepare food. Of course, there's no meat to eat, and because the king told not to harm anybody, So these 5 yakshas, they said, we are flesh eater, we need meat, otherwise we'll die. So then the king was now thinking, what should I do? If I don't give food to this, they will die. If I kill anybody, what's the benefit? save somebody and kill somebody, what's the benefit? So I'm facing dilemma. He was thinking so much, what should I do? Finally, the solution is said, no, I should keep my body. So then king cut flesh from his body, so eat, drink the blood. Then those 5 yakshas, they are so impressed. The king, you are really helping the people. Your whole being is just to protect, help the people, not for your own kind of achievement. So they said, through these practices, you earn such great accumulation, purify so much delusions, your attachment to ego, attachment to yourself, aversion to others who harm like us. No doubt one day you will achieve enlightenment. At that time, you must help us also. Then king was so delighted. I'm so happy I could do this. Yes, one day, through these practices, I will achieve enlightenment. This time, I give you my flesh. The day when I enlightened, that day, I will give you the wisdom of the Buddha. So, when Buddha enlightened, giving the first 4 noble truths, there are 5 monks. So there are those 5 yakshas, at the rebirth of those 5 disciples of Buddha. You see, so that's how the Dharma is beautiful, how the practice is. The Buddha's teaching is nothing but wisdom, peace, to free from mental afflictions. So we need to develop that kind of loving kindness to all sentient beings. Occasionally, of course, no doubt, there will come limitation in the mind, some anger, frustration. At that time, you just relax. May all sentient beings have all the peace and happiness. Meditate. Even those who hate you, who irritate you, just know they want peace and happiness. May they free from this suffering. They achieve peace and happiness. You meditate. Whether they get the benefit or not, definitely you get the benefit in the first place. Your mind will be totally peace. And this kind of practice we need in this generation, in this 21st century. It's far better than chanting mantra. Mantra, of course, you chant mantra, wonderful. I'm not saying you shouldn't. You chant. But we chant with expectation. But this practice without expectation, practically, you practice it, you get the benefit there. And get used to it, then practice follow. You see, day after day. Build yourself, more familiarize. Then you appreciate yourself. I'm so fortunate, These teachings is not mysterious, somewhere else, but here practically in my life, in my daily life. Wherever you are, doesn't matter, at your room, at your house, or driving, or in the working place, in your house, with your children, cooking. There's anytime, anywhere, you have the chance to practice this. Only what you need is mindfulness, not forgetting, vigilance. That's why Lord Chaitanya Sungpa said, mindfulness is the highway to enlightenment, Buddhahood. All this, the Buddhas of the three times, their highway is the mindfulness. So unceasing, unstopping mindfulness. It makes sense? This what you may read many books, but this is the essence. You can get some benefit, practical benefit. With this, then you can chant mantra. Wonderful, visualize the deities. Visualize the deities, chant mantra. Mind free from the mental afflictions. Then compassion estimation. Once you have the loving kindness, then compassion manifests just from there because sentient beings are suffering. Obvious, clear. As I mentioned, suffering of change, pervasive suffering of condition. We're all under the condition of suffering. Even those who are very luxurious life, they're under the condition of suffering. Even those who are born in the God realm, the formless world, they are also under the condition of suffering because they are not free from the root delusion, mental afflictions, So therefore, our loving kindness, compassion, can reach to every sentient beings. Then we don't admire the samsaric achievement. Otherwise, when we don't have these teachings enough, we admire those who are who achieved, those qualities. They're so famous. I wish I'm there, Those who are so rich, I wish I'm in their place. But when you have this kind of wisdom, you only just develop wisdom, that's a compassion, loving kindness to all these individuals. And you take the responsibility. I will take the responsibility. Now then, so what is the real to free from all the suffering? What's the ultimate state to achieve all the peace and happiness? Because no matter how much I practice loving kindness, compassion, still people don't have all the peace and happiness. Still they are under the suffering. What is the solution of this now? So then Buddhahood. What to achieve Buddhahood? So cultivate bodhicitta. So this is the cause, not a Buddhist, but there's a cause to free from the suffering, to achieve ultimate state. You should understand. Otherwise, the Buddhists believe bodhicitta. Now, Buddhists believe refuge. We say that, it's something like it's Buddhists do, don't require by others. People think, but anybody, every individuals who really want to free from suffering, want to achieve Buddhahood, they have to take refuge as a cause to achieve Buddhahood. They have to cultivate bodhicitta to attain Buddhahood. Not converting into Buddhist, but creating cause to attain Buddhahood. See, so you have to understand this kind of demarcation. Very important to have that demarcation. Otherwise, this is something like Buddhist business. It's a Buddhist thing, but it's cause we have to create. The refuge first is the first, most important highway you start at the beginning. Taking refuge. As yesterday I mentioned a little bit, the refuge, outer refuge, the inner refuge, ultimate refuge, the steps there, very profound. Those are briefly I mentioned in the Diamond Rosary, if you have the book, Diamond Rosary. And then also I'm sure in this Four Dharmas of Gampopa also mentioned there. So bodhicitta. So on the base of the refuge practice, then you have the optimal goal project is the Buddhahood, the total enlightenment state. So Buddha is a Sanskrit word, because since Buddha came in India, we use that Buddha, Sanskrit. The translation is fully awakened, enlightened, awakened from the sleep of the ignorance. So that's I will attain the Buddhahood for the benefit of all sentient beings. This complete sentence, this Buddhahood and for the benefit of sentient beings, this true purpose. Where you want to achieve it, where you want to cultivate bodhicitta, to attain Buddhahood, ultimate Buddhahood. For what? For sentient beings' benefit. It's true. See? Why you want to attain Buddhahood? Because you have to achieve the perfection of the mind. Without yourself perfected, how you can benefit other sentient beings? Right now, look at ourselves. We're so limited. We want to do something good, but there's always difficulties. We don't know enough how to do. We don't have strength mentally how to help. We're limited many ways. So to free from these limitations, attain Buddhahood is the best choice. Once you achieve Buddhahood, then you have a limitless resource, the wisdom, skill, whatever you want to do. So the cultivation of bodhicitta is that, you see. So this is the right track towards the enlightenment, okay? Second, dispelling the confusion from the path. It's precious, isn't it? See, you have heard of bodhicitta so much, hundreds and thousands of times. Sometimes we feel, sounds like so good, It's courage. That helps to understand that we have the Buddha nature. See, Buddha nature is the potential seed, as mentioned, effulgence. That effulgence, the jewel of the effulgence we have within us as a potential. That's our source to bring up the courage. We can do it. Like you see in California or also in the red tree, giant big red tree. How the seed is big, not so much this seed, small seed. So from that small seed can grow that giant tree. No. See that, look at that. Don't feel I am so limited, how I can cultivate bodhicitta, how I can become Buddha. No way I can, no, so no. But look at that, it's the seed of the giant, the tree which grown over 1,000 years. That you, after the tree is cut, you can build a house on that, isn't it? So big, you look at the sky, the tree, you know, how big, you know. So we can become Buddha there from this potential, the Buddha nature. So that with courage, with joy, so I can do it. And that first is called aspiration bodhicitta, you know, aspiration. You aspire to attain Buddhahood. First, we need that as a foundation. Once you aspire to achieve the Buddhahood, now to become Buddha, what we should do, it's called, then comes action bodhicitta. It's called action, you know, the engagement. You engage the cause for the enlightenment. Then there comes the 6 parameters. Practice, you know. 6 parameters, the method to perfect bodhicitta. The action bodhicitta comes from there, you know, that we'll talk this afternoon. Sounds okay? Good plan? Okay. Then, so we follow the path through the 6 parameters or 10 parameters, step by step. Then final, the 4th Dharma, the confusion dawn into wisdom. The confusion dawn as wisdom will come there. Okay. Now it's clear. Make this, we have to make very precise, clear this way. Okay, now please first relax. Oh, yeah. First you take a deep breath. Inhale. Exhale all the stress you have. And inhale once more. All the bodhicittas of Buddha into you. And all the mental delusions I exhale. And do this once more. Inhale fully. And exhale. Now please reflect what went this morning, that what went through. I reminded some of the impermanence, causality, and then practice of loving kindness, compassion, and the cultivation of bodhicitta. This, reflect on this, and appreciate, rejoice. Totally rejoice yourself. I have the precious human life. Because of this, I got this all opportunity. I'm so fortunate. No. Reflect on this. Then with this, please say the dedication prayers.
Page 17. Glorious, holy, venerable, precious, kind, root, and lineage lamas, divine assembly of yadams and assemblies of Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, Yogins, Yogis, and Dakinis dwelling in the 10 directions, please hear my prayer. May the virtues collected in the 3 times by myself and all sentient beings in samsara and nirvana, and the innate root of virtue, not result in the 8 worldly concerns, the 4 causes of samsara, or rebirth as a Shravaka or Pratyekya Buddha, May all mother sentient beings, especially those enemies who hate me and mine, obstructors who harm, misleading Maras, and the hordes of demons experience happiness, be separated from suffering, and swiftly attain unsurpassed, perfect, complete, and precious Buddhahood by the power of this vast root of virtue. May I benefit all beings through my body, speech, and mind. May the afflictions of desire, hatred, ignorance, arrogance, and jealousy not arise in my mind. May attachment to fame, reputation, wealth, honor, and concern for this life not arise for even a moment. May my mind stream be moistened by loving kindness, compassion, and bodhicitta, and through that may I become a spiritual master with good qualities equal to the infinity of space. May I gain the supreme attainment of Mahamudra in this very life. May the torment of suffering not arise at the time of my death. May I not die with negative thoughts. May I not die confused by wrong view. May I not experience an untimely death. May I die joyfully and happily in the great luminosity of mind as such and the pervading clarity of Dharmata. May I, in any case, gain the supreme attainment of Mahamudra at the time of death or in the bardo.
Thank you. 누구 왜? 나는 싫어와.
레레라, 시바.
아메리카노 소시라도 와.
네. 아, 성만 사.
아,
성만.
체리야.
아래 주치.
알레.
Is it okay?
와.
Something beautiful.
라.
그래.
알레. 라. 십자야.
Yes. That's all this.
Dharmas of Gampopa.
Okay, the room's still on. I'm not sure should I start. I don't know. You're okay.
쟤들 내 과들려서. 그래. 아, 그래. 왜 오르다? 누구야? 아, 네. 그때 빨리 뭐 누가? 펜네 뭐 누가? 쟤들 땅라 나서 그래. 왜 오르와? 왜 오르? 예. 뭘 맞다고 좋아? That's all. 아, 들었지 누구야?